Good morning, everyone. In this video, we are going to understand, or maybe we are going to learn what are the TypeScript types that we should apply to the Redux action, Redux dispatch. So, my understanding and assumption is that you are familiar with Redux and Redux thunk, and now you want to add TypeScript types to your code, which is calling Redux action and dispatching actions. Okay, so we start with action. Everyone, we know that what is an action? Any object with type property. You can see here type property. We call it an action. If there is an object with type property, we call it an action. Now we have one more. We can pass many other things along with type in that action object, and we have a convention to pass everything else on payload. The data we pass on payload. But the payload is not mandatory. So we make payload as an optional field, and the type of the payload is a generic type. So here the payload type is any. And in some cases, like I have been using the Redux.js toolkit, there it passes few more properties on the action object which are recorded on meta. So I have added one more property field which is meta, and have given any type to that meta. So how do we use this action type is, here is my action object. Okay, it has type. The type will be any string. I have put ABC over here. Now payload is a number over here, number 2. So here the best scenario is I put a number over here. Okay, so this is my perfect type for this action object. If I don't pass number, then what happens? Because I have given equal to any, the default parameter I have given as any. So if I am not passing anything as an argument in that generic, it will take any. So 2 tallies with any, so it is a proper type. However, if I pass string over here, then it will create a problem. It will say that number is not assignable to type string. So this 2 is not assignable to type string. So we can leave it as it is, or if we are very specific, we can put a number over here. Okay, so this is the first type. Now second type, before we move on to the second type, we can see what are the 2 use cases we have. So normally people use Redux Saga, Redux Thunk. These are the 2 middlewares we use along with Redux. And if we are not using any middleware, then we have normal dispatch. The normal dispatch will take an action object. So the use case is with this one only, line number 63. Here dispatch is a function of the Redux library, and we can pass action to that dispatch. What is the action? It is any object with type property. So this is first use case of dispatch. Now second use case is when we are using Redux Thunk. When we are using Redux Thunk, what we do, what we get the facility is we can pass an action function to this dispatch function. Normally Redux library, the dispatch function given by the Redux library will only accept an action object, but Redux library also gives us an option to include middleware. So the middleware is Redux Thunk. When we include when we include the Redux Thunk middleware along with the Redux library, we can pass action functions. What is the type of that action function? This is that action function. ID string, async dispatch type. So to give you a real example of this dispatch, we can see this filter virtual accounts. So here I am passing filter parameters, any, and it will return me a function. This is the next function it is going to return. And that function takes the dispatch as the first argument. This dispatch is the same dispatch as the dispatch provided by the Redux library. And second argument is the get state. Its type should be any. Now, what is the purpose of this second function? Its purpose is that it can call the dispatch whenever it wants. It did not call the dispatch immediately. So it will make an Axios call, a network call, and when that network call succeeds or fails, we are going to make an action dispatch. So this is the normal dispatch we just saw in the use case 1. And this is the next dispatch. Filter virtual accounts is the next dispatch. This is the use case 2. That use case 2 comes over here. So Here I am dispatching of the function itself. I am dispatching, right? This is the second use case. The first use case is when I dispatch a normal action object, and second use case is when I dispatch a function. Filter virtual accounts is a function. I'm calling that function, and when I call that function, it again returns me a function. So when I'm calling this function with filter params, it is again going to return me a function. So the thing we should now learn is about the vocabulary. We have action as the first thing in our vocabulary. Every one of us who is using the Redux library knows that this action. He knows that any object with type property is an action. Second thing is dispatch. Dispatch is a function which accepts action. Now, if we use redux thunk middleware, then we can dispatch function also. So that we, in normal developers term, people call it action function. I have given few more names to this. We can call it thunk action also, because it's not a normal action. It's a thunk. So I can call it thunk action because only thunk library, thunk middleware is providing us the facility to provide action function. Or we can call it delayed dispatch creator also. Why we are calling it delayed dispatch creator, we can learn now. So I'm calling it delayed dispatch creator because it creates delayed dispatcher. Now what is a delayed dispatcher? If we come to action, you see I am calling this one as delayed dispatch creator. This function filter virtual accounts, I am calling this delayed dispatch creator. Why? Because when I call this, it is going to return me this function. What is this function? It is taking dispatch as the first argument, and it is going to call dispatch sometimes. Sometime it will call immediately also, and it will call after some promise is resolved. So it is calling dispatch, but after some time. So it is a delayed dispatcher. So this is a delayed dispatcher, and a function that creates this delayed dispatcher is a delayed dispatch creator. So this is the fourth thing in our vocabulary. Now the next two things about adding types for the Redux dispatch and action is thunk dispatch and normal dispatch. So normal dispatch, I start with normal dispatch. Normal dispatch is a type. So when I am dispatching a normal action to the dispatch function, I give this dispatch a type of normal dispatch. Dispatch is a function that is taking delayed dispatcher. Now this delayed dispatcher is created by delayed dispatch creator. So this is our delayed dispatch creator, and this is delayed dispatcher type. Okay, so when I call dispatch and filter virtual account, this is a delayed dispatch creator, and when I call this function, it is going to return me delayed dispatcher. So I will be dispatching delayed dispatcher. So that's where I put the Redux type. Thunk dispatch is a function that takes delayed dispatcher and returns nothing. So dispatch function does not return anything, so the output will be void only. So now we have to give type to that dispatch. So what is the type to dispatch? What is dispatch type is, sometimes our dispatch acts as normal dispatch, and sometimes other times it acts as thunk dispatch. Okay, so we have used an ampersand operator, that is an intersection property. So it is both, it is normal dispatch and thunk dispatch. So why we need to do this is because now this is my action file. Here I will be writing many actions. Now what I do over here is, here I'm dispatching normal action function, right? This is an action object. I'm dispatching an action object. In the same function, in the same function, I'm dispatching this. What is dispatch error? This is also an action object only. Okay, here in this action function, in the same file, I am calling this is a show popup is a delayed dispatch creator, and when I call this show popup function, it is going to return me a delayed dispatcher. So here I am passing delayed dispatcher to dispatch, and here I am passing an action object to dispatch. So same dispatch function is taking two arguments. So therefore we need to give an intersection property, that sometimes this dispatch acts as a normal dispatch and other times it acts as a thunk dispatch. So this dispatch, I have given dispatch type, that it is normal dispatch as well as thunk dispatch. Why? here it is normal dispatch, and show pop-up, here it is thunk dispatch. Here this dispatch is acting as a thunk dispatch. So yeah, that is all we need to know. Reiterating it again. So it starts with action type. It has a generic payload type. Then we have normal dispatch that takes action object. Now then we have, after normal dispatch, we have thunk dispatch. Thunk dispatch will take delayed dispatcher and will not return anything. Now where is delayed dispatcher coming from? Delayed dispatcher comes from delayed dispatch creator. So delayed dispatch creator will be giving us the delayed dispatcher. That delayed dispatcher will be given as an argument to the thunk dispatch. Now therefore, our dispatch type will be normal dispatch and thunk dispatch intersection. And this is just, I have created an alias. The action function alias will be delayed dispatcher. So here also I can correct myself. Action function is delayed dispatcher. And delayed dispatcher is created by delayed dispatch creator. Thunk dispatch is the type when delayed dispatcher is passed to dispatch, and normal dispatch is the type when action object is passed to dispatch. So that is it. Hope you understand this. And if you have any questions on this types, you can put it in the comments. Thank you.